Hello. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on historical timelines. The focus of the lesson will be on positive and negative numbers. As always, take notes on the procedure because you'll be responsible for completing this lesson tomorrow in class with different examples. Keep in mind when we're dealing with positive and negative numbers on a number line that 0 indicates our middle number and numbers to the left are negatives, and the numbers to the right of 0 are positives. This is not to say that 0 has to literally be in the middle of the number line. If I placed 0 over here, then that means this entire section are negatives, and then only that part will be positives. As I said in class, up until now, you've basically been dealing with just this set of numbers. Now we're introducing the negative side of everything. There's a balance of positive and negative numbers. Today's lesson deals with, you're going to be making a number line representing historical events. My example today, we have historical events, but these are technology. So in 1963, computer mouse was invented. 1967, the automatic teller machine, ATMs, you know how you get money out, was invented. 1968, the video game console. 1971 was the email. 1973, the personal computer. 1983, the camcorder, video recorders. 1990, just 1990, the World Wide Web was introduced. In 2001, the digital satellite radio was introduced. So these are the events we're going to be dealing with today. You don't have to write it down, just that's what the events are. What you're going to do in class tomorrow is I'm going to give you a different set of events, again with the year and what happened, and you're going to have to place these on a number line. You might think that sounds like an easy thing to do. Put 1963, 1967, 1968, and so on. Not that simple. Each of you are going to have a different 0 with your set of data. For the purposes of this lesson, I'm going to randomly pick the video game console invented in 1968 as my 0. So I'm going to go over here and put 0. Tomorrow, I will tell you which event will be your 0. Everyone will have a different 0. So what I'm going to go on my number line and realize that if 1968 is my 0, I have more positives, more events happening after 0 than I do negatives. So I'm going to kind of shift to my left a little bit. And I'm going to put 0 here. And above it, I'm going to neatly write video game. So then my next one, I'm just going to pick the next one, 1971, email invented. Well, email was invented 3 years after my video game was invented. Since that's my 0, my email is plus 3 years. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, put a circle on 3. And then above that, I'm going to label it as email. My next one is the personal computer. Again, this is invented in 1973. And 1973 is 5 years after my video game was invented. So I'm going to go to plus 5, put a 5 there, and label it as personal computer, so the PC. Camcorder was invented in 1983. So 1983 was 68, 78, was 15 years after the video game was invented, my 0. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 15 years later, the camcorder. Then in 1990, the World Wide Web, internet, was invented. 1990 occurs, so 68, 78, 88. So 22 years after the video game, the camcorder was invented. I'm sorry, the World Wide Web was invented. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. World Wide Web. And then in 2001, where my data stops for this lesson, 2001 was satellite radio. So 68, 78, 88, 98, 98, and then 3 more, so it'll be 33 years. And I think I've run out of room on my board, but I'm going to just make a dot over here and put, I said 68, 78, 88, 98, 33, sorry, 33 years. And that is my satellite radio. So again, whatever your data is, that's what you will figure out after the 0, how many years each thing happened. Now, I can't forget the other ones. I've got 1967, the ATM. This happened 1 year before my video game was invented. So that's -1. -1, and that will be the ATM. Then 1963, which is 5 years before my video game, the computer mouse was invented. So -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. -5. And that is the computer mouse, which we all find handy. And then that is my timeline of history, as if the video game was my central point. If I were to, let's do this. If I said that the satellite radio was my 0 point, then everything below that, so I'm going to go, I'll put 0 over here. The World Wide Web was invented 11 years before my digital satellite radio. So so this is if your 0 was satellite radio. So I'll put satellite radio, and then 11 years before that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. -11 is the World Wide Web. Let me pick another one. Camcorder. So 2001 minus 1983 for the sake of time in my memory. So 2001 minus 1983. The difference is 18. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this is 18 for the camcorder, because the camcorder was invented 18 years before satellite radio. So as you can see, depending on where your 0 is, will depend on how your timeline looks. But everything will still be in the same order when we compare each other's. So that's the lesson, historical timelines. We'll be doing this in class tomorrow. As an extra credit assignment, you will be able to create a timeline of your own, but we can talk about that in class. So be thinking of important events that have happened to you, your family, over the last, since you've been living in before, if you wanted to, because your family was existing before you. Think of that list, like I've got my list here. Think of 10 things, and then come to me, and I'll let you know where your 0 is, and you can make another time.